Speaker recognizes Representative Johnson.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And for my very last time, I had something all prepared. I'm gonna still speak what I had prepared. But as I listen to all my colleagues, first of all, I'm so proud of all of you. I'm proud of you some of you for recognizing the wrongs and how we can, if we just listen to each other, we can make some of those wrongs right. Most of you do not come from the community that I've come from. And just in case you don't know who I am Representative Cynthia A. Johnson. Thank God that name will never be taken from me. That title will never be taken from me. Neither will it be taken from any of you. But I wish I had the types of relationships that most of you have in this room. I wish I did. I have sat at my desk on several occasions. You may not have seen it, but I've seen my colleagues conversate with each other. I know you go on picnics together and Christmas dinners and all that, and have family outings and all that. I wish that I had those types of relationships. Maybe if I had those type of relationships, we could have done a lot of great things for not only Detroiters, but for all those who live in the state of Michigan. But sometimes we can be so petty that based on who we are, what our names are, what we look like, and please don't tell me that we are in a colorblind society, because we are not. I know that firsthand. There are some of you in this room right now who owe me an apology. There are some in this room who I owe an apology to. And for anything that I have done to harm you, hurt you, things that you may not have recognized, or things that you can't see them from my eyes. You can't see the pain in my community. You can't see the children walking down blocks and looking at nothing but trash or dilapidated properties. If you can see through my eyes, you will be crying. If you could see through my eyes, or the eyes of those who are Black, or the eyes of those who are like Padma, or the eyes of those women who have been abused, who have been dismissed. If you can see through the eyes of the young children who want more than what they have, but they are too dismissed. We have just learned where hate really comes from. And it is not from those men that you clutch your bags when you get in the elevator. So now, I will read what I prepared. Hold all leaders accountable. I don't care who you are. If you know that your colleague is doing the wrong thing, if you know your employee is doing the wrong thing, if you know governmental officials are doing the wrong thing, you cannot be quiet. You cannot be complicit. I've seen it. I've seen it. So I wish I had the relationships that most of my colleagues have. I also wish we would listen to one another. I wish we would try to see through the eyes of each other. The Democrats now have the control of the gavel. I learned, excuse me, on my first day in session in 2019, on this floor, I won't call the person, but they taught me a valuable lesson. I learned about the definition of being in the majority and having the gavel. See, I walked up to this person and said, I'm going to be your minority chair. I just want to know what we're doing. And that person told me, you go to your caucus. That should never be. You know, again, I learned about the definition of being in the majority and having the gavel. And when I came on the floor, I'm thinking, in order to get anything done for the people, you have to work with one another. You don't always have to agree with one another. I didn't always agree with my mama. I didn't always agree with my children. They don't always agree with me. But we have a lot of work to do. I hope and pray that this legislature, the 102nd legislature, will work with each other for the good of all Michigan citizens. And trust me, we will be watching. Who's we? Women, LGBTQ communities, community organizations, individuals. We will be observing how power and money are distributed. Justice for all starts with a report. First starts with a person, but it starts with a report, and reports are only as good as ethical governmental officials. Justice for all isn't just a saying. Let's break that down. Just us. Just us. Who's making that claim? Who is us? To all those elected officials who fight on behalf of justice for all, thank you. I know who you are. You speak up with your votes against injustices and inequality. You speak with your pen, paper, and certified mail and your feet. We are not perfect, but we are perfect enough. You see, you all remind me of families who know some family members who need just an extra help. And you're about doing that, giving that extra help. You are ethical and believe in truth and honor. You understand why people like me fight for people like me. And I welcome you to fight along with us for all people. To all my colleagues who voted yes on House Bill 4454, the illegal dumping bill, thank you. Thank you. I know we didn't get that out of the Senate and passed, but I know somebody here is going to do it. It doesn't have to have my name on it. I know some folks try to stop my name from being on it. Okay, I don't care. I want it done. Illegal dumping is no more, should not be acceptable in the state of Michigan. It should not be acceptable in those cities like the city of Detroit, who people are trying so hard to clean their communities. But we are not just dumped on with trash. People dump bodies in the city of Detroit and then blame us. Enough. To all of those who co-sponsored House Bill 4326, ban the box for those who have criminal histories. And some of these people, as you all know, have been convicted but are innocent. Ban the box is about giving good people with criminal backgrounds real chances at real opportunities for real jobs. To my colleagues, excuse me, y'all making me do this. To my colleagues, Yusuf Rabi, Brenda Carter, Shri Tanadar, my new state legislator, Tyrone Carter, Felicia Brayback, Rachel Hood, Karen Whitsett, Jewel Jones, and she wanted to be on it, but he didn't sign the bill. Tanisha Yancey, all of you had the audacity to co-sign the reparations bills, which included House Bill 5474, the creation of a racial equity fund, House Bill 5673, a one-time $1.5 billion appropriations in House Bill 5672, a 13% surcharge. Oh no, this is gonna look awful with me doing all this snotting. House Bill 5672, a 13% surcharge on every dollar granted to certain businesses. You remember General Motors got $1.5 billion from the state of Michigan. If this bill was law, if these bills were law, General Motors would simply have to share in the wealth and give 13% of whatever they're asking for. That's not too much to ask for. That's not too much to ask for with a United States of America who have done so much wrong, and we all know it. None of you are responsible for it. Do know that. But you reap the benefits. Okay, so we couldn't do anything with that, right? We couldn't do anything with that bill. And the reason we couldn't do anything with that bill, and I already knew this, but I still wanted to challenge the system anyway and let folks know that we still need reparations regardless of what Proposition 2 of 2006 said, a Republican-led citizens initiative that was passed by voters on November 7, 2006, stopped these bills dead in our tracks. Affirmative action bill was, But there is nothing stopping the legislature from making this wrong right with a 3/4 vote. Just a little bit more and I promise you I'm done. In my mind, I want to sing a song listening to those words. In my mind. In my mind, when I came to this legislature in 2019, I swear, because of the type of person that I am and the heart that I have and the love that I have for all people, in my mind, I just knew that I could work with anybody, both Republicans and Democrats. That was only in my mind. Many of you I have worked with. Many of you have come to me silently and said, I'm sorry. Many of you have. And for that, I thank you. My prayer is that all legislators work together for the good of our state. There are 110 of you. Y'all gonna do some bad stuff. Y'all bad being good. But I ask you this. Please look out for the Michigan residents. To women. Oh, let me back up. I want to acknowledge Representatives Isaac Robinson. He was my heart, my soul, my love, who worked along with me and Representative Sherry Gay Degnago and many of you too, against the auto no-fault law. And I thank God that I worked against that. We can all see the damage that that particular law has caused. And finally, but in recognizing someone, I want to recognize Andrea Schroeder. You have no idea how it made me feel when the family came to me looking for me and said that there were 3 people that Representative Schroeder wanted to say goodbye to. And I was one of those people. Representative Tommy Brown, your wife better be careful. Because you are an amazing human being. Tommy Brown, I love you with all my heart. I really, truly do. You are a great man. To women, and especially young women, and I'm so proud of you, all these young people in here that I'm seeing who's going to do some great things. But to women, and especially young women, please focus on you. Be you. Do you. Use your voices, but while being and doing you, stand on integrity. Stand up for what's right, what's legally right. No matter what, stand up for what you believe in. And I think this is it. Thank you. I think this is it. This is it, I promise you. I've stood on some great shoulders. But first, I have to give praise to God because without God, I would not be standing here. I know my purpose. I know many things that I say sometimes you all cannot get it. You don't understand. But until you walk in my shoes and see the things that my people have gone through, you will never get it. Call me to the side. Ask me to go to lunch. Let's sit down and talk. I've stood on great shoulders. My grandparents Cook. My grandparents Johnson. My parents Lewis and Beverly Johnson. My children, my grandchildren, and my great-granddaughter. And extended family and friends and all of you. And all of the other people who made it possible for me to become a state legislator. I thank you. And I promise you, I will stop by saying this. Yusuf Rabi, I told you when I first met you that you were a star. You and my other brown brothers our stars, young women and young men, and even some of the old heads like me. We have some work to do. We can do so much, and we have very little time. As my godmother, Joan Robinson Cheeks, who was up there with me, she just died recently. She was an absolute wonderful person, but again, life is very short. I wish you all nothing but the best. God bless you, and thank you for indulging me.